Hi loves, the J.Lo obsession continues. I'm gonna do this look right here. I love it. It's from her Rebirth album. I don't think it's a cover, but it's like part of her album packaging, and obsessed. Smoky under, brown, smoky up top, but like light, but like the smoke under, classic glow, nude lip. It's just like quintessential J.Lo meets hi, gorgeous. So we're starting. Love it. On Lupa. I'm going to start by just moisturizing her face with argan oil. This is not an overly dewy look, but J.Lo always has that quintessential glow. So I've highlighted this before, but a nice way to just kind of cheat your glow is how you start with your skincare. So we start with an oil, a skin oil, a face oil, so you're not going to break out, but just to sort of project a glow from the beginning. Going to just base her eyelids with Cle de Peau Concealer in Ochre. Basically just, you know, map them out so that they're all one color, so that we just have an even base. So I'm going to work primarily out of this palette, which is the Naked Urban Decay Basics palette. It's basically just a bunch of all matte neutral colors. I'm going to pull one additional color out from a MAC that I have, but otherwise I'm going to work all on this palette. I'm going to lay down first just a flat neutral type of eggshell shade, both on her lid and under her brow. And I'm going to really kind of pack it on. I mean, it's a pretty, even though it is sort of like it's subtle look, being that it's matte and it's neutral shades, it's very intense. I mean, the colors are on there, so we're really going to lay them down. It's not like a sheer look. We're really going all the way across the lid on this look, because you see that her crease doesn't connect in the corner like a lot of looks do. It kind of goes out. So we want to make sure that when you base it, that you base it all the way out to the edge of her eye. I'm just going to smooth out edges. I'm just going to work kind of, you know, light to dark as we do, so I'm going to go into our next shade and just start laying the crease. So the shape of that crease, like I said, does not come into the corner like a lot of looks do. So you can either look straight or you can look down, but it's nice to really find your crease. So sometimes when people keep their eyes open, you can really see the crease. So just with her looking down, actually, yeah, look down, without actually closing, her crease is very defined. So if you're doing it on yourself or on someone else, maybe don't have them closed all the way because you'll lose the crease. But you want to just go right into the crease. And we're not going to go down into the corner. We're going to actually come out and go across. Same kind of thing with the next darker shade in the palette. Focus on the middle, don't go quite as far this time, but still go, see where I'm laying it, pretty far, and then just kind of buff it. I'm going to use this warm brown shade from MAC. This is a MAC palette I created. You guys know you can do that at the MAC store. This color right here, it's called Swiss Chocolate. It literally looks like hot chocolate. I just love how warm it is, so I'm going to bring that in just a little bit into the crease. Just to warm the look up. You see how it just sort of becomes more like warm brown and less about like gray brown. This actually, the way that we're doing this look is actually a nice trick for more mature faces. A lot of times as you age, your skin can sag a little, your eyes can sag, so you don't want to go too heavy on the lid, but if you still want a smoky eye, like this is an awesome look for that, because we're still going to smoke it out on the bottom and a little tiny bit in the crease, but it's really, really about the bottom smoke out, so you get that smoked out feeling without weighing your eyelids down. So I'm going to just take a little tiny bit of dark brown, like almost a black. I mean, literally little tiny, just so that when you lay the lash down, it does have just a little base on her clothes. And I'm going to just, like, I mean, barely, just so that it gives it a base. we're not really about creating a line here. It's just sort of darkening up the base of the lash before we put a lash on. Will help the lashes and the eye look just kind of smoldering all over. But again, really not about a heavy line on top, just right at the base. I'm going to use a fluttery lash. You should try Wispies. I have highlighted these before, but yeah, wispy lashes. Very J.Lo look, very fluttery. So we got the lash on, and now we're going to just kind of really get the smoky part out, which is the bottom. We're going to line inside her eye and really smoke out the bottom. So I'm going to have her look up. I'm going to just take a black pencil. And we're really going to kind of just do like a heavy, like fully coat her waterline, top and bottom. I'm going to have her look up. I'm going to take the pencil. It's not really precise because we're going to smoke it out with shadow, but we're really going to take it kind of heavy. When I'm doing this, you guys know I don't usually do the bottom eye before I do concealer, so you'll see we're going to kind of stop here and then finish that after the concealer is done. I just kind of wanted to lay this down because it really is about creating a smoldering eye. And you see you just kind of go along the bottom and extend a little bit past the edge, and it's really all the way across. Laying concealer down. I think we've seen this trick a bunch of times, but again, concealer in that little triangle area. You guys know how I do this. Across, over the cheekbone, down the side of the nose. Not just right here, we're going all the way down with the concealer. You see, because we use the oil as a moisturizer on her, that she's getting just sort of a natural sheen coming through, so that we don't need to add like any sort of illuminator. You're going to kind of start to get a glow just from having the oil. It's all about having a moist skin look with any J.Lo look you do, whether it's a super dewy look or whether you just want her regular glow. It's the highlight, it's the contour, and it is just the natural dew and the moisture that comes out from underneath that all sort of create that look. Gonna use some Calvin Klein foundation, 600 Honey. Laying it down the same way you guys have seen me do a million times. Follow the cheekbone, follow where we laid down the concealer already. Gonna contour using a Bobbi Brown color, Warm Almonds. We're doing hairline. Framing the face, we're going under our cheekbone, jawline, and turn that way, just so you guys see where it's laid down. And we're just buffing it all out. Use the blender to buff it in, creating definition in the cheekbones, around the forehead, jawline. Very J.Lo. I'm going to take the same color and just run it down the sides of her nose for a little contour as well. And we just kind of buff those lines out and create a shadow. Again, I say it a million times, but especially true for any J.Lo look, no harsh lines on the face. All about shadow and light. I'm just going to powder her now. We're going to set it with using a light powder where we laid light foundation and a more tan powder where we laid tan foundation. Not rocket science here. I'm going to just use a matte bronzer. Highlight her cheekbone just a little bit more. J.Lo is all about the bronze. We're going to just do a soft fill-in on her brows. Nothing sharp. Should I turn me a little bit? Now for her under eye, I'm going to go back into our MAC color, Swiss Chocolate, that we used to warm up the crease. I'm going to just take it on a angle brush, and I'm going to use like a guard to sort of protect her from fallout whenever I look up. And I'm going to go over that black pencil that we laid. And really just sort of smoke out the bottom for this look. So once I've got this super smoky, this is actually a pretty sharp line that she has underneath. Like it's smoked out, but then it's pretty clean under the smoke. So I'm going to just go back in with the concealer and just sharpen the line again. I'm going to just take a steady hand and kind of trace along the line. I'm going to go back in with some mascara now. I'm not going to go too heavy on the lower mascara actually, because it really is about that line. So we're not going to super accentuate them. You always want to pop them a little bit, although a lot of people don't like to. There's not really blush in this look per se. I'm going to use a blush that's very neutral. It's Chanel. It's called Nude. It's really just to kind of bring a little life to her cheek. I'm going to have her smile. But you see it's very on tone with the colors we're using. It just brings a little life back and a little more dimension from the bronzer and contour. I'm going to use a matte color called Creme de Nude. It pretty much speaks for itself. It's a nude. That is a typical JLo look. It's obviously in this look. So we're going to just go for it. She always does have sort of a 3D lip, being that she has liner on to create an illusion of fullness. A way to do that to make it look softer is to do the lipstick first, which is what we're doing. And then we'll line after just to sort of pull out the shadow. The lighter color goes where you want it to pop, which is like the middle of her lips. And then we'll use the liner as a shadow, and it'll kind of give the illusion of plump lips. So the way JLo lines, she doesn't line all the way over usually. She just kind of does like the corners, if you notice. If you really study her pictures, I'm not creepy or anything, but if you really were studying her pictures, you would see that she's really kind of enhancing the shape on the sides. Like she's not doing like an all over kind of line. She's kind of in the corners, like plumping out her sides a little bit. And I think that that is pretty much it. That is our album packaging JLo Rebirth look. That is absolutely one of my favorite looks from JLo. And what do you think? Did we make Luba look like JLo?